breadwinner, you can be a breadwinner. Girl, go and get that, you can achieve that. Be a breadwinner, you can be a breadwinner. Girl, go and get that, you can achieve that.
All right, hello and welcome to another edition of Breadwinning Wednesday. I am your host, Jamila Payne, and we do these sessions every single week, and they're specifically created to help women service providers to put the simple systems and strategies in place in their business that they need to serve more clients and become the breadwinning businesswoman that you deserve to be. And today we are talking about 3 mindset shifts that will help you to become a higher earning woman in business. And I'm really excited about this because this has been on my heart a lot lately. If you have been around the breadwinning community for some time, you know that I am extremely passionate about helping women to achieve financial results through their business. And what I mean by financial results is specifically being able to change the ratio of the number of women that are high earners in business. I don't know if you know this, but statistically, there are 88% of women who achieve 6 figures in revenue or more in their business, which means 12% never get beyond 6 figures in revenue. So this is the norm right now. Okay, like that's the norm. And I'm on a mission to change that ratio. Like I want to see at a point where we have, 50%, 60%, 70%, right? Like the ratio literally just flips where it's now like 88% of women in business are earning more 6 figures in revenue or more, and only 12% are not, right? Like I want to see the ratio shift in that way. And this is so important for women, especially because we are the pillars of our family and our communities. Give me a 1 in the chat if this relates for you, where you wear a lot of hats, right? Like you might be a mom, you might be a wife, you might be taking care of parents, you might be taking care of grandchildren, significant others, involved in organizations, sororities, committees, community organizations, nonprofit. Like if any of that rings true for you, then give me a 1 in the chat, right? That you are, okay, I'm seeing those ones pop up, right? So for many of us, we are wearing a lot of hats in our lives. And therefore, we are spread amongst a lot of people in terms of the impact that we are having in our families, in our community, and in our businesses. And so what is really important is that you're able to do the things that you want to do from a financial perspective. So what I see specifically in our community, inside of the Breadwinning Women community, is that women want more out of life. They want to be able to travel the world, take luxurious vacations. If any of this resonates with you, give me a 2 in the chat. You want to be able to take luxurious vacations. You want to be able to change your family tree. You want to create generational wealth. You want to be able to leave money behind for not only your kids, but your children's children, right? Like we want to do all of these things. We want to have more time for ourselves. We want to be able to work from anywhere. Like these things are all important as a part of the lifestyle that we're creating. But there's one big caveat to these things. And the caveat is they all require resources, right? They all require financial resources. And so as we desire to achieve more of these things in our family, in our community, in the world, then it is even more important that we as women have the financial resources to be able to do those things. So, I have a confession to make. I'm telling you how I've been like super passionate about this work over the last several years that I have been working towards this goal of helping more women to hit 6-figure revenue mark and beyond. I really had a big epiphany recently where I was like, you know what, daggone it, six figures is just the starting lineup. Like, it's really just the beginning mark in business. And I don't say that to be a discouragement for anyone who's not there yet, because I fully 100% believe that you can get there and that you're going to get there. You like, especially if you stay in this community, like, this is what we're all about here. But what I realize is that when you get to the point that you're earning six figures in revenue, right? Which is, you're making, at least like $8,333 dollars a month and some change in your business, then what happens is you now have the ability to pay yourself, a reasonable salary. Let's just say if you paid yourself 50K, right? You have the ability to pay yourself a reasonable salary. You have the ability to cover your tax expense, which is probably going to be another 30% of your overall revenue. You have the ability to maybe have an assistant or a VA or someone that's supporting you in your business, at least on a part-time basis, if not on a full-time basis. You have profit left over in your business, or you have the ability to have profit left over in your business. So as you can see, that can go very, very quickly, right? So if 50K is your salary and another 30,000 is going to taxes, right? We're already at 80,000. And then you got 20,000 left over. And let's say that you spend, somewhere between 5 and 10 of that on administrative support, business expenses, etc., right? Then you might have 5K or so left over in profitability. It goes very quickly. So what I started realizing was like, dang, right? Like, women really need to be aiming for multiple six figures, not just six figures. And you got to hit the first milestone first, right? So first thing you got to do is like be able to get to 5K in revenue, and then be able to get to 10K in revenue. Then you can start. I remember, doing this in my own business journey. Once you get to 10K in revenue, then you can start saying, listen, all right, now I want to hit 15K. Now I want to hit 20K. Now I want to hit 30K. Now I want to hit 50K, right? Like, you can start working your way up on the journey. I don't want you to get discouraged about like the bigger goals. I want you to think about like, how can I start where I am right now, and what's my first milestone? What's my next milestone? Like, how do I work my way to multiple six figures? This is why all of this is important. So this is why I want to talk about today, how to make the mindset shifts that are required, that are going to allow you to become a higher earning woman in business. And if you're watching us live inside of the Breadwinning Women community, say hello, throw some likes and hearts up on this video. Even if you're watching the replay, my hashtag replay crew, just put replay in the chat, throw some likes and hearts up on this video, and let me know so that I can shout you out during this event. Like, I get so much energy out of seeing you here, and having you participate in these sessions means the world to me. So let's talk about it, right? Like, what are those mindset shifts that you need to make in order to become a higher earning woman in business? So the first mindset shift that I would say is your willingness to charge a premium price. If you think about how a lot of businesses may enter the marketplace, they think, oh, well, I'm just getting started out, or I'm in the early phase of my journey, or I don't have everything in place in my brand. And so as women, we can feel a lack of confidence when it comes to charging more. We feel like, oh, maybe we're not ready. We got to get more stuff in order. I don't have everything in place yet. I don't have all my systems together. My business foundation isn't totally there. And so you want to hold yourself back from being able to charge based on the value of the transformation that you're providing. And I absolutely don't want you to do that. I want you to think about a company like Uber, right? They didn't come into the marketplace as the low cost provider. When Uber started out in the marketplace, they started out with their black car service. Like, that's how they entered the market. Like, we're coming in with a black car service. And if you remember, if you're a Uber user or user well, not any car sharing service, because the other ones didn't necessarily launch as a black car service, but Uber launched as a black car service. So initially the drivers had to either like have a luxury type vehicle, or they could go through like the Uber leasing program to have like a luxury type vehicle. And then they would drive that vehicle to be able to pick people up and all of that stuff. Now that came at a premium. So initially, when they entered the market, the people that were utilizing the Uber service was a lot of corporate people, because they could go between meetings in Ubers. If you had 3 or 4 colleagues that are going to a meeting, it's nothing to think about like, oh, I'm going to put that on a company card. We're going to jump in the back of a Suburban, and the 4 of us are going to go, wherever, 15 blocks in a center city to a next meeting that they need to get to at a certain time, or wherever, to the airport, for example. Right. So I want you to think about, this company came out of nowhere and launched with a premium service. So why couldn't you, in your marketplace as a service provider, have a premium offering that you're putting out there? So Uber started out with this premium offering, and they became a multi-million-dollar business with a premium offering, not trying to do 5 different things, not having 10 different services, not having all these other options, but they really got clear on a signature offer that they were putting into the marketplace as their premium service, and they built up a customer base with that first. Then only after they had a significant customer base with their premium service did they start other offerings. Then they started, I don't know what the regular one, but then they started regular Uber, right? Like basically, any person who had a car could then become an Uber driver. Like they took away the black service, and it was still Uber, but now they expanded the number of drivers they could have and the number of people, because they eliminated the black car factor, right? So you didn't have to have a black car in order to be able to be an Uber driver, which basically gave them capacity to serve more clients. But they didn't start out in the marketplace in that way. Then they went to some of the other services where, basically they just drive by and let you out on the corner, or ride sharing became another offering later, right? Like these were factors that they rolled out later, only after they were already a billion-dollar company. And so some of us women especially make the mistake in going in the reverse order, where you're trying to start out with these low cost offerings and thinking that you're going to be able to get market share, or you're going to be able to really establish yourself in the marketplace with these low cost offerings. And it's very difficult to do. It's like trying to be the Walmart of the industry. Walmart, right? Any company that's offering everyday low prices, that's competing on price, they can do that because it's a volume-based business. Okay, just give me an M in the chat if this is like totally making sense for you, if you're resonating what I'm saying so far and this is totally making sense. So I want you to understand that the first mindset shift that you have to have is your willingness to be premium at what you do, at your willingness to set yourself up as a 5-star service provider, is your willingness to be the best at what you do and stand out in the marketplace, and not try to be the Walmart, not trying to be the everyday low cost provider, but trying to be that premium service, that 5-star service provider that people are excited and willing to hire for the services that you provide. Okay. That is number one. So Uber is a great example of a company that made that transition in the marketplace. The second mind shift that you want to make is really beginning to focus on profit and not just revenue. Let me say that again. You want to start to focus on profit in your business and not just revenue. So to be clear, your profit is the money that is left over after you put out whatever it costs you to deliver your service, and what you're charging. So let's just say, for example, for quick numbers, if you were, charging $1,000 for a service, and it costs you $100 to deliver that service, right? Then your profit essentially would be $900. $900 would be what you had left over at the end of the day, right? That's your profit. What I see happening that's keeping women from reaching higher levels of their ability to earn is they're focused on driving revenue, like thinking like, oh, I want to get more clients, I want to get more customers, but they're not necessarily focused on thinking about profitability. How much money am I having left over? I've seen it over and over where people get to the point where they're earning a really good amount of money in their business, but they're not actually having anything left over at the end of the day. Have you ever had the experience of uh, going to the bank or going to the ATM, pulling out $100, and then let's say like over the course of a couple of days, or let's just say you pulled out $100, on a Friday at the end of the day, and you do a couple things that weekend, and you actually had that $100 in your wallet, and you're like, oh damn, like what happened? Like there's $20 left, like there's $30. You don't even think about like how fast $100 can go just on a couple of little things that you might have purchased, right? This is what's happening for a lot of business owners, is that against their they're spending against their revenue, but not actually making sure that they are that they are profitable. So you want to make sure that the expenses that you have are not exceeding the revenues that you're making on a monthly basis, right? So what I recommend for a business, a service-based business, is that you want to be operating at around at least a 50% profit margin, meaning that you are not putting out more than 50% of what you're bringing in. So if you're making, $100,000 a year, you're not putting out more than $50,000 a year in overall expenses, including your salary, so that you can be able to have a significant amount of money left over to make great business decisions, reinvest in the business, and do other things to move the business forward. So just if this resonates for you and this makes sense in terms of how profitability can impact you, give me a P in the chat if you're going to work to really understand what your profitability is. Now, if you're not familiar with profitability in your business, what you want to do is, if you're working with a bookkeeper or an accountant, or you're using any kind of bookkeeping software, then your bookkeeping software will tell you, it will actually give you the numbers so that you can see what your profit percentage is. So whether you're at 20% profit or whether you're at 30% profit. Now, I want to say this. Profit does ebb and flow, meaning that it can change over time. For example, if you are making significant investments in your business, like for me, I invest in myself. So there's times in my business where I may be working with a coach or a mentor or some kind of program that I'm involved in. And so I'm making an investment in those programs. Well, in a particular month, then my profitability might go down a little bit, right? So if I was at a 50% profit, I might go to a 45% profit or a 40% profit because I'm making an additional investment in the business, but I'm still making sure that my overall profitability for the business, like in terms of what I'm doing for that quarter or what I'm doing for the year, is still going to net out at the end of the day that I'm doing like a 50% profit or better. Okay, so I want you to start thinking about, when it comes to shifting your mindset and stepping into your role as a higher earning woman and thinking like a breadwinning CEO in your business, you want to not just be focused on revenue and the cash that you're making, but how profitable are you? Is there money left over at the end of the day? Or is everything that's coming in going out the door? You don't want everything that's coming into the business to be going out the door. You want to absolutely make sure that you are very profitable in your business. Okay, and then let's talk about mindset shift number 3, is being willing to invest in yourself to create results faster. This has been a really big point of leverage for me and my business is that anytime I felt like there was a specific skill that I needed or something that I can strengthen in myself or opportunities for me to be able to level up as a CEO of the business, I did not hesitate making investments in myself to be able to create bigger opportunities. I have never been one of those people that wants to learn the hard way, right? That's some people just they don't mind like learning through the hard way or learning through their own experience. For me, I have always been of the mind that I want to learn from other people's experiences. And so if there are other people out there who have, in fact, you know, created easy ways of figuring things out, they've created processes and systems or a certain path or a blueprint or a roadmap for how to get things done. I don't need to figure it out from scratch. I want to learn from somebody who has already done it and who can shortcut my learning curve by teaching me exactly how to do it. So I want to encourage you, right? When we start out in the early phases of our business, as women owners, what I often see a big mistake that we're making is we're feeling like, you know, I'm just going to learn how to do it. I'm going to Google and YouTube my way to success. And we like roll up our sleeves and we do the work. But the reality is that you don't want to be asking the question of how do I do this? You want to be asking the question of who knows how to do this that can either show me how to do it or that can do it on my behalf, right? Like that is how a high earning woman thinks. She's not constantly asking herself, how can I do all the things? She's thinking, who can do it? Who do I enlist on my team? Who do I know who's in my network that knows how to do this? Who can I hire that can do these things, right? Like they are not trying to they're not trying to give up their time because your time is so absolutely valuable. You don't want to be just giving up your time trying to figure out how to do everything. You don't need to be the chef, the cook, the bottle washer. Well, I guess the chef and the cook are kind of the same, right? The chef, the bottle washer, the person taking the orders at the restaurant. Like you don't want to be wearing all the hats in your business. You want to be doing the things that only you can do in your business, which are going to allow you to create the biggest results. Okay, so let's recap 3 mindset shifts to become a higher earning woman in business. Number 1 is being willing to charge a premium price and show up premium in the marketplace. Number 2 is your ability to focus on profit and not just revenue. And then number 3 is being able to shortcut your learning curve by hiring mentors, coaches, and people that can teach you and allow you to get things done faster because they're giving you a blueprint, a roadmap, a proven process for how to create results in a certain area of your life and or business. All right, that is our Breadwinning Wednesday for today. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them. Feel free to drop them in the chat or you can unmute and ask your questions live. Before we go, I want to tell you about something really exciting that we have coming out on September 19th to the 27th. We are hosting an event called the Sold Out Service Provider. Okay, so mark your calendar, September 19th to the 27th. And Joviana, if you could drop the link for everybody who would like to RSVP for that. The Sold Out Service Provider is a 100% brand new workshop that I created specifically for women that want to be higher earners in their business. And what we're going to do is really show you how to create a simple system, a simple sales system for being able to sell out your services. And it's very important that you can sell out, meaning that you have customers that are coming for you, that you have people that are wanting to work with you. Being sold out actually gives you a lot of freedom because you're not wondering, where the next client is coming from. You want to make sure that you know where the next client is from and that you have a sales system that allows you to do that. So if that sounds exciting to you, then you don't want to miss it. We're kicking off September 19th to the 27th for the Sold Out Service Provider. So it's going to be literally 8 days of a live workshop where I'm going to be live teaching and training you every single day on different strategies, like how to create your own intellectual property, how to set up your unique sales system that's tailored and aligned with your personality. I'm going to be talking to you about how to create your client process. We're going to be talking about how to price for recurring revenue and so much more. So I'm really excited about this session. We're going to hold it on Zoom, and then we will be having discussions inside of a private Facebook community, which is called the Sold Out Service Provider. So when you register for the event, you will actually be invited to access this brand new Facebook community that is just specifically for attendees and participants of this workshop, the Sold Out Service Provider. So again, if you want to get access to this, it's going to be amazing. RSVP now so that you will actually I put together some really cool content that's going to be coming out, like some videos and things that are going to be coming out for the people that have RSVP'd for this early. They'll be getting some special videos, trainings, and workshops that are coming from me via email. So make sure, if this sounds exciting to you, that you go ahead and register for the event. So again, it's the Sold Out Service Provider, taking place on September 19th to the 27th. All right, I'm just checking to make sure that I'm not missing any questions that you might have in the chat. I don't think that I am missing anything. So if that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's Breadwinning Wednesday. We will be back again next Wednesday with another Breadwinning Wednesday session. If that's another thing I do want to mention, if you do not have notifications turned on inside of the Breadwinning Women community, in the top of this video, at the very top banner on the right-hand side, I'm like, I had to think, let me reverse, let me turn around. On the top right-hand side, if you are facing the screen, there is a little bell, and you can hit that bell to turn notifications on. This will make sure that regardless of what the Facebook algorithm is doing, you will be able to see what sessions that we have coming up and what trainings we're going to be offering for Breadwinning Wednesday. All right, so make sure you stay tuned. And remember, the most important thing about these sessions is not just to take in the information, but to take action on the information, which is going to allow you to become the breadwinning woman, the breadwinning woman that you deserve and that you desire to be. All right, until next week, bye for now.